Hey, welcome back. I have another fun video for you here today. We're going to do the top 10 budget EDC pens. Someone did give me feedback on my last top 20 video that they didn't understand how I quantified things like aesthetics, fit and finish, action, ergonomics, refills, tip wiggle. And in the case of this video, we're going to add in price and value, which is a really big one. The last one was sort of like objectively what were my favorite pens. This one's like, what are the best budget pens? I was kicking back and forth. Do I go under 100, under 75, under 50? What do I do? Based on what I have in my collection, I decided to stay sub 100, so less than $100. And but this will factor in if something's 50 bucks versus 100 bucks, then that will be considered. This pen at one point I think you could get for about 100 bucks. Not today, so it will not be included in the video. Let's start with number 10. I chose for number 10 the Modern Fuel. I'll just go ahead and take this guy off of here. So number 10, the Modern Fuel. And this one has a big, thick refill in it, which I'm not used to. Bolt action pen. And one of the things I like about this pen is that the bolt is integrated with the pocket clip, so it gives you good ergonomics. It's available in steel and brass for as low as $99. You can spend more on one. He usually has some sort of sale going on, so I think I got this one for around 75 bucks or something like that when I got it. Modern Fuel, nice one-piece machine body, nice heavy feel in hand. The maker is really cool, made in San Antonio, Texas, so that's really neat. Really cool pen for the price. Obviously it's on the higher end, fit and finish and everything's really good. I do want a slightly more ergonomic or more comfortable landing pad here on the pocket clip for when you actuate it, and I think this could be maybe even ranked higher on this list. So we'll go with number 10 for the Modern Fuel. Number 9, this one, and by the way, honorable mention to a few others out there, like the Everyday Caras. That was like a $25 pen. I decided not to include it because I just didn't think it was one of the best pens. It's definitely one of the best value pens, but didn't make my list because I don't think it's one of the best pens under 100 bucks. So number 9 on the list. Machine Era, I need to space these out more. Field Bolt Pen. And these go for starting at $69. Like the one configured here, it's a steel with aluminum pocket clip. You can spend $89 and get a titanium pocket clip. Nice G2 size refill here, despite the small size of the pen. You can see how much smaller it is. These two have almost the exact opposite problems. This one has like almost too small of a bolt path, and this one has like too big of a bolt path. So if they could come together and find something in between, that'd be nice. I like the grip on this one. It's pretty good. The weight in hand, it's a steel body, so nice weighty feel to it, easy to work on. Just pop off that clip with a tool. Yeah, it's a very simple pen. Not a lot to dislike. Nice hidden seam right there, right above the grip line, which I think is impressive. And you can't go wrong. Really cool brand, made in USA. Machine Era Field Bolt Pen. Next one is the Caras Custom Retrakt. So number 8 on the list. Caras Customs Retrakt. And this one runs only $50. Aluminum body, a little lighter than the other two. It uses a Schmidt mechanism. I think it's slightly modified. Pocket clip, not super deep carry. A little unimpressed with the pocket clip here. A little rigid, and those screws sticking up. Not the best ever, but overall a very good pen. That just gets the job done, and for $50, the value is so strong for what you get. I wish they would take this grip here and put it down here. I think that would be a really cool modification. I think they have a pen called the EDK that has some grip lines down here. that might be more your liking if you really like some sort of grip line. Number 8 on the list there, the Caras Kustoms. All right, number 7 on the list, rather. The Caras Kustoms, again, back-to-back Bolt Pen. And sorry, I think I switched the refill on this, or maybe haven't used it for a while. Number 7, that's not the fault of the pen at all. We'll do some movie magic real quickly. All right, movie magic. So number 7 on the list. Again, from Caras Kustoms, they are just a very cost-efficient company. Caras Pen Company. And this is the Bolt. Just a really cool kind of steampunk looking pen. Say that 10 times fast. They go for around $75. Caras also makes a modal pen that could easily be on this list, but you can only have so many from one brand. I just think this mech is really fun and kind of fidgety. If you hit it hard enough, it'll, go in. If not, you want to just kind of go down and push to the side. But it's a really cool kind of bolt / plunger. It's not a super efficient pen. And this titanium, I think it was more like $100 or something like that. But a very nice pen that just continues. I continue to have one in my collection because I think it's smooth and enjoyable. So Caras Kustoms Bolt. Next one we have is the Aerocrafted, and I think these MSRPs may have just bumped up a little bit, but you can pretty much always use code Knife Nerdery or one of the other makers. I'll probably get one as well for my channel. Number 6 on the list is the Aerocrafted Retrakt, not spelled the same as the Caras. Aerocrafted, whoops. Retrakt spelled the normal way here. And these were like $99, but you could always get minus 15% pretty much any day of the week. So they were selling for $85. I think they're bumped up just a little bit now, so you're probably looking at more like $92, I think, as a standard price. Still makes it under the 100. Parker size refill. I think it's the first one so far that's a Parker size, which is not my preferred refill, but it is one I don't mind. And by swapping this out to an Odo, I really quite enjoy writing with it. I just happen to not have done this particular one yet because the one I do have swapped out's in my backpack. So this pen is just super efficient. Beautiful pocket clip that they did here where it looks integrated into the pen. It's not for everyone. Like I can barely enjoy writing with it because this almost gets into the web of my hand. It's like the very, very smallest pen I would ever consider, but very efficient and well designed. And for people that like smaller pens, I wanted to include a couple in here that they might like as well. All right, going to the top 5 now. Number 5 on the list is I think this is out of Las Vegas. I think I got this wrong in my last video. Aerocrafted, by the way, out of San Luis Obispo. This is the Honeybadger. Well, love the ink on this one. Arsenal. That just came out looking really cool. Bolt pen here. And in steel, you can get these for, oops, let me just double check. Yeah, I wanted to confirm that. $55 at the bottom end to $85 for a steel version or a brass version or something along those lines. Very, very impressive for what you get. And you can pick, for instance, like a brass bolt on a steel body. You can go titanium. I think that runs you up a little higher. It's super reasonable still. Like I think it's like $100 or something like that. But really just been impressed that you can even get some of his older ones for even less money. I think $55, just really a nice pen for that price. And he throws in a bunch of nice stuff in the box with them. They feel great in hand. Maybe a little polarizing on the round top. That's not for everyone, but that is a really nice pen for the price. One of the weird quirks on this one is that the bolt is on this side. Most of them are going to have them on the other side. And that is just a little bit quirky about this one, for better or for worse, depends what you like, I suppose. So food for thought, the Honeybadger Arsenal. a few different grips. You can get grip lines or this one, which I believe I've forgotten the name of it. But let me see if I can look it up really quickly while we're in here. All right, grip engraving. Oh, he calls it cubic. This cubic grip is really nice in my opinion. So yeah, right at the top of the list there. All right, this one might be surprising to some folks because we haven't seen one on the channel for a while, but I recently put a lighter spring in one of my first machine pens. I think I bought this back in 2022. My Tactile turn Bolt Pen, Bolt Action Pen. And this Tactile turn, taking number 4 here. I should write up the whole name here, shouldn't I? Tactile, sorry to the brand for doing that wrong. Turn Bolt Action Pen. You can get these in aluminum for under $100, or this form factor, which is the full size with the regular pocket clip, is $99. So we'll call that, I think they range from $75 to $99 for this kind of full size. If you go into the slim, which I actually kind of prefer, it has a more complex machine pocket clip and it costs more money, $125 or something like that. So very nice pen. Once you de-spring it, I think the springs they put in there are a little too strong. Now I've had a few pens from this company that the action wasn't smooth enough to de-spring, and they do have some QC issues with their brand in general, but they do massive volume and it's kind of understandable. So Tactile turn Bolt Action Pen, taking the number 4 position. You know, this grip is, or this turned finish, that's a little polarizing. Not a lot of people don't like that, but it's a good beginner one. And you can't go wrong with that pen. It's just a solid pen. That's titanium, by the way, for $99. All right, taking up top 3 here. Recent addition for me. Number 3 on the list, very esteemed here, the OGBrad. What does he call it? Ink Pen? I think he calls it the Ink Pen. It has a clicker, very smooth. A little bit fidgety, not super fidgety here, but just the weight of the brass pen, it just feels quality to me. And you can get some of these others in brass, by the way, no doubt, but with this smaller form factor, I really like it. It just feels quality. This feels like the highest quality pen of the list that I've pulled out so far. Maybe the Aerocrafted would be right there with it. That's titanium, by the way. And these only are $70. Made in USA also. It's somewhere around Iowa or in that region. I forget what city he's from. Off Missouri, I think it was. I think he's from Missouri. $70 for a nice little brass pen, made in the USA. Parker size refills. Very thin, not going to be for everyone. I love it sitting right next to that Tactile turn, which is on the thicker end of this list. Very contrasty there. Very different approach to making a budget pen. But it's pretty rare to get a top-end maker like that under $100 right now. He's one of the guys that helped coach Kelvin at Smooth Precision Pens to making some of the best pens ever, in my opinion. Mine is taken apart right now because I stole the refill out of it for this pen for the review. But you know, it says a lot that he's just such a strong machinist, and if you ever watch his stories, it's really impressive to just hear how he thinks things through and how he takes an approach to making things and how particular he is looking at things under the microscope to see how they're going to work. All right, top 2. This is getting exciting here. And that's value, by the way. It's $70. That's a big piece of it. If that was $100, I don't know if it would, it would kind of jockey with some of these others, but at $70 right now, it's impressive. Otmog used to be lower at the price like that too, but no longer. So the next one, maybe a little bit polarizing for some folks. And this particular model, you're certainly not going to get for under $100, but you can get a MIG pen. MIG's Mark's Innovative Gear for under $100. Some of them, even in the 60s, 70s, and they are very quality pens, Parker size refill. I did have to throw some O-rings on mine, so, food for thought on that. But this is the MIG 1. They have like a MIG 70 or something like that also, which is like 70% of the size. I can't remember what it is. Some other number. But the MIG 1 Bolt Pen, I like the fact that it is a J bolt, so that once the smaller pen's bolt is activated, it still leaves me with some room, whereas when it's over here, not as much room to move around on my hand. So the J bolt's a big piece of why this smaller pen comes together well for me. Now I'd have to really see it in a tie, just a regular tie form factor, which I've never had, to make a complete, true assessment of whether it is. But for what it is, I just have to include it in here. This is one of the most impressive pens I've handled for the price range recently, and I think when you spring it down, this one you don't have to spring down also, which was impressive. So some of these are better because I've sprung them down. The TT would probably be towards the bottom of the list with the factory spring, but it jumps way up with an updated spring. So food for thought on that. This one comes with a great spring from the factory that feels, probably 70% as good as a confounded machine, which is considered widely to be one of the best actions of any pen out there. So these range from like 65 to 100 for their just sort of basic versions, and then you can spend a bit more, $200 for one like this, 125 to 150 for a couple Timascus parts. We'll call it Taiwan Mascus parts because that's where that's sourced out of. It's not the original Timascus out of the US. All right, so MIG taking number 2. Very excited about this one here. It does require a spring down, but the Right Choice Paint Company bolt action pen, when you spring it down, it probably has the best bolt action pen of any of these here. It's definitely the most fidgety, sounds the most fun. And I actually have a couple of these coming in copper this week. He's coming out with some in brass, and then he's going to be doing a run of Zerk, which has never been done before, and I think is very, very exciting. So, man, just for $50, this is one of the most impressive. Touch it anywhere and feel like there's quality. With the factory spring, it is not enjoyable to use, but everyone that I've talked to that has sprung it down has agreed it becomes a phenomenal pen. I have heard that the Energel have less tip wiggle than the G2. The G2 I've had to throw a couple O-rings on to really minimize that, but the O-rings, the spring down, and now I've got a pen that feels like it's well over $100. So number 1 on the list, the Right Choice Paint Company, sorry it's so long, I'm just going to use the acronym, Bolt Pen. And that is only $50. So impressive. So nuances again. I have thrown quite a few O-rings on here to try and really improve the feel and reduce the tip wiggle. So that is a thing. I have thrown in aftermarket spring, so that is a thing. You do have to do some things to make this pen to make it realize its potential. So that might cost you another $10 or $14. You're still at, max $65 shipped from Amazon with all those parts. And it just becomes one of the best feeling in hand pens for the price that I have ever handled. And he does some other real cool work. He does actual Timascus work. He does, special bolts, special bolt carriers, top caps, pocket clips, noses. He does milled versions. There's quite a variety. He makes, no one ever feels like, they're hard to get. They don't sell for crazy money on the secondary. This is a true top-notch bolt action pen that you can get, right? That this is attainable. Now, at the time of this video, I think he just sold out, but you'll see more pens on his website any day now. And the owner, I think his name is Jim, really cool guy, great communications on the chat on the website or via email. I've just been super impressed. $50 factory, $65 with a couple mods, and you have a pen that rivals, pens like Confounded Machine and others. So in terms of like a pure budget pen, this one right now sits at the top of the list for me. Honestly, there's some things I like more about the MIG. There's some things I like more about the TRPC. There's some things I like more about quite a few of these here. But But in terms of all around, based on the things that we're looking at here, I might put the aesthetics of the MIG a little higher with the nice cone nose and the slightly more elegant pocket clip and bolt and stuff. But the overall ergonomics, action, refill flexibility, tip wiggle, it all comes together for me on this one. And the price and value in particular is a huge nod. Made in, I want to say also Arizona. I want to say Tucson, Arizona on the Right Choice Paint Company. Super impressive. Or is that Caras? Caras might be the Tucson, Arizona, and he might be in a different city out there. But Arizona, tons of great value pens coming out of that region right now. Impressive. Nothing from Canada on this list. That's one thing I will say. We had a lot of Canada on the top 20 list. I don't think a single pen here from Canada now on this list. So many here made in the USA, which is amazing. One made in Taiwan and QC'd in Australia on the MIG. So pretty impressive that all the rest of these are made in the USA, and really impressed to see budget pens made in the USA at this level of quality. So hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.